Round of fixtures. We know Chelsea beat Arsenal on Friday night, and then Manchester City hit back with a victory of their own here today. So level on points, and as you can see, it may well come down to goal difference. So Manchester City second there in goal difference, 2 goals behind. It could potentially have been just one if they didn't concede that late one here against Brighton. So that is how the table look. It's really exciting title race. I know we're going to get onto it, but let's just have a look at how things played out today. And Manchester City really took control of that first half with those 2 goals, Anita.
Yeah, they started off brightly. I thought Brighton actually took the game to them in the very early starts of the game, but Lauren Hemp was always a menace on the left-hand side, and I think that initial ball from a turnover that Jess Park picks up in the centre of the park showed that they could exploit the gaps that Brighton had between their defensive line and midfield. But here, just being able to get 1v1, take that shot on early, which doesn't allow Bagley to really set and get her footing and her positioning, which I think she'll still be disappointed that she wasn't able to make a better save from that.
Yeah, especially since they started off so well, Brighton, in terms defensively. But I think, you know, at times it was their own errors that cost them in this, especially for the first 2 goals. Again, we can see Lauren Hemp just getting a lot of time on that left-hand side to pick out a cross. And then they'll be really disappointed in how they switched off at the back post there, just allowing Mary Fowler to come in and ghost unmarked and obviously put it past Sophie Bagley for the second goal.
OK, well, Lauren Hemp scored the first goal on the day. She is the player of the match, and she is with Joe Curry now.
Well, Lauren, at times it was a bit wet, it was a bit muddy, but essentially 3 points in the bag and a goal for yourself as well. How much did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, it was really fun. Obviously, we got quite a few goals. Unfortunate to concede so late on. Obviously, the goal difference is going to be massive for us going forward, so it's important that we really kick on with that. But no, a great team performance, and especially with the conditions, how they were, we managed them really well.
I was going to say, in terms of the goal difference, was the message from Gareth Taylor towards the end of the game, score as many as you can? Because obviously points were the most important thing today, but goal difference could still play a part in this title race.
Yeah, I think one of the messages throughout the week is to be ruthless and relentless, and I feel like that's something that we've maybe lacked in consistency over the last few weeks, and it was something that we definitely focused on today, and it was really important that we obviously created loads of chances and also scored them, which is very helpful. So yeah, onwards we go, and hopefully that puts a statement in the league that we're obviously here and we want to win it, so we're going to try our best to do that.
In terms of the title race, as a group of players, did you watch the match on Friday night between Chelsea and Arsenal?
I mean, I was at my home, I watched it a bit, yeah. Obviously it was a good game of football, but obviously the focus is on ourselves and what we can do, because it's still in our hands at the end of the day. So yeah, it was a good game of football, but like I said, we focus on what we can do to try and stop them from winning.
Well, look, you've got a long old journey back up the M6 today, but next weekend you've got the Manchester Derby at the Etihad. How long has that one been ringed in your diary?
Yeah, it's definitely one that I've looked forward to. I mean, they're the games you want to be involved in and play in, so yeah, it's really exciting, and especially being at the Etihad, we've had good memories there, so yeah, it'll be really exciting.
Well, look, we'll let you go and find some dry clothes, but congratulations, you are the Barclays Player of the Match.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Cheers. Thanks.
Congratulations to Lauren Hemp there. Yeah, Manchester Derby live on the BBC next Saturday from 12:15. That's going to be a big one. Interesting that Lauren Hemp mentioned the goal difference and being ruthless and relentless.
Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, players have this in the back of their mindset as well, and they're taking that into their performances. You could see today that she really wanted to be the one to take responsibility in the attack, to go 1v1, create opportunities in terms of the assist as well, and ultimately it's a title race, so that's what's going to matter at the end.
It is, as you said, you know, they're under pressure now to kind of keep it up, and all they can do is keep it in their own hands.
Yeah.
Well, look who has joined us, Gareth Taylor, winning manager of Manchester City. How happy are you with that clinical performance today?
Yeah, I thought we were really good. I thought that we played some really good stuff. I think everyone can see that the pitch was actually quite good. We saw some of the pictures from on the TV and thought, is this game going to go ahead? But yeah, the pitch held up well, but it's still not an easy surface to play on for us, and at this time of year especially, and with the amount of games that are played on this pitch. But I thought the players built up really well, created good chances. We're clinical when we needed to be. We spoke at half-time about making the scoreline more improved than what it was. Really a bit frustrated with the goal at the end, I'll be honest.
Because goal difference is all important.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. But look, you know, to come away, it's not an easy game, this. None of the games are going to be easy at all now. Everybody thinks the game's played on paper, and it's not. It is so difficult. But I have to say, the players executed like the game plan really well today.
you still have some big fixtures coming up, but you are only focused.
They're all big.
But also, you're
They're
only
all
focused
big.
on the league now, because as much as you will have wanted to have stayed in the cup competitions, do you think that can potentially help you?
Yeah, this question gets asked all the time. If we were still in both cup competitions, I'd be saying, yeah, it's great. So I'm not sure how to answer it, to be honest. All we do is try and attack the next game that's in front of us, and that's before today it was 7, 1 down now, 6 to go. We move on to the next one.
Gareth, what was your decision today to not start Chloe Kelly in this game? And obviously you have a very competitive squad, and it was a really good professional performance. But what was the thinking behind that?
Just that we have good options at the top end of the pitch, and you've seen from the bench today, and also some players that don't make it onto the pitch. The competition is really healthy, and at the top end of the pitch we've got good options. Mary Fowler is, we've spoken about Mary for a long time, about what she's capable of doing. Jess Park's come into the team and done very, very well as well. So there's good competition at the top end, and that's what you want on the running.
Obviously we saw as well, like, Hemp getting player of the match. But for me personally, I thought Hasegawa was fantastic in that midfield today, bossing it. Just how much of an importance is she to the squad after she plays most every game?
Yeah, we debrief at half time, and we were talking about certain points, and I just stopped to say that Hasegawa was, what a 45 minutes she put in there. She's just so intelligent with the way she moves to receive the ball, but also moves to allow others to receive the ball. And that's very rare, that you've got someone who's willing to sacrifice themselves. And physically, she's so good, even though she's small, she's so good physically. Technically, she's great. She's just a top player.
And a defensive work rate as well. I think she doesn't get as much credit for that, obviously, say on the ball, but off the ball as well.
Yeah, she works. She makes the right decisions. She anticipates the play so well. There's a lot of players that are kind of like reactors. She's an anticipator, and she probably had to do that her whole career because of her size, but her brain is incredible.
How do you manage the pressure in these next few matches, knowing that you are really in this title race?
Just the next game. I think I know it sounds easy.
Surely not, come on.
No, we try to keep it as simple as possible, and that's the way to be. If you start thinking too far ahead, or what about when we play these, or what about if 2 other teams are playing, we just try and control what we can control. And like I say, the frustrating thing today is if we don't concede, and we probably get one at the end, we go top of the league outright. But I think I spoke before the game where we've been this season, top of the league early on, then we were 6 points behind all of a sudden within 2 games. To claw that back to where we are now, I think, has been phenomenal effort from the team.
Because you have gone on this amazing run. It's now 10 league wins in a row. How are you doing it, and are you aware of that? Does that act as a motivator, or does it hang over as a little bit of a pressure?
No, I just look at probably next game, like I've just said, and also our performance. I think our performance is so important for us. In the cup against Chelsea, I thought our performance was so good, but we just didn't have that final bit with finishing it off. And we've been pretty good in our performances this season, and that doesn't guarantee the result, but it gives us a much better chance, because we know if we build really well and we get to the final third, then it's the hardest part is putting the ball in the back of the net. We know, but we did it pretty well today.
We'll let you go, but Manchester Derby next weekend?
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Cheers.
We'll see you there. Thanks a million, Gareth. Good to get your thoughts. Really interesting to hear that. Some Manchester City fans creating a ruckus behind us. They are happy at the moment, and it sounds all quite positive, doesn't it? And if we just look at the second half goals, and the fact that Gareth Taylor was talking about scoring those goals. Bunny Shaw, I mean, such a force in front of goals. Now 16 league goals.
Yeah, well, it all comes from a set piece, doesn't it? A short corner, Hasegawa changed the angle, and Bunny Shaw doing what Bunny Shaw does well, rising highest in the box and redirecting the ball towards goal. But you have to say that Brighton did not defend this situation very well. Not a single player really jumps with her and gets contact to just, make it difficult for her to really get a good header.
Again, you can't allow a player like Bunny Shaw that much time in the box, and again, Hasegawa all that time to be able to pick out the cross in the first instance. It's too easy for to come against a team like City to allow them to do that.
Yeah, and then the fourth goal that they got, Laura Coombs, and it had been coming in. She just floated in so beautifully into the box to be able to kind of receive that pass and finish it off so well.
But it was a lovely build-up to the goal on the right-hand side. Jess Park picks up the ball, is able to get the ball out wide to Kasparai, and a little bit of combination and clever play from Fowler to find this cutback where Laura Coombs just arrives to to finish that attack. And I think, again, you could see that fluidity in Man City's play, couldn't you, Fern?
Yeah, I mean, it's criminal from Brighton for me. It's like you've got to be able to track your runners and look over your shoulder, and not one player has had a look at where Laura Coombs is. I think it's Igiotti in the box. She's, again, got too much time and space within the box to be able to slot that away, but she deserved that goal for the way she played today.
Oh, and a nice moment there. Former teammates, Vicky Lozada, captain of Brighton, of course, Lauren Hemp, running up to give her a big hug. Hemp smiling just a little bit bigger than Vicky Lozada today. Gareth Taylor mentioned goal difference. I know we're talking about it an awful lot, but you just don't know how much that goal at the end that they conceded will potentially come back to maybe haunt them.
No, exactly. And I mean, he said it himself. He was very disappointed to concede a goal in the latter stages of the game in the way that they did. But you have to give credit to Brighton here, who were able to just get numbers in the box, and their substitutions, Lee Gun-min coming in and having the impact that they needed at this point in the game. It's just a bit of a consolation for them.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed again. They're switching off. It's a set piece. You know, you can get a little bit a lot tighter there to stop these balls being in and played around you. Sari gets the cross in, and it's Lee Gun-min with the finish. But again, so late on in the game, just stay switched on, keep that clean sheet, and keep concentrating, because again, you've still got games to come, and it's going to make a difference.
It sounds really easy, but how difficult is it to keep the concentration up when you are 4-0 up and you're in control of a tie and it's late on? You just want to, I'm sure, be in the dressing room.
Yeah, sometimes it is difficult, especially when you're the team on top and you're attacking, and suddenly everyone gets that rush of blood where they think they can start doing things that they wouldn't normally do, and maybe not communicating as much as they should. But with a team like City, with the experience they have and the quality they have in that back line and the defensive record they've had across the season, you would expect them to manage that situation better.
And they made changes as well. So the back line was disrupted. The changes in the back line, obviously Morgan coming in, Kennedy coming in. So, you know, they might have been a little bit kind of rattled by that, and you don't usually change your back line as much in a game. So potentially that makes it a little bit easier to switch off as well. OK,
let's get some more reaction then with Jo Curry. She is speaking to Mikey Harris.
Well, Mikey, 2-0 down at half-time. It was always going to be an uphill struggle in the second half, but where did that one get away from you?
Yeah, really disappointing to concede the goal in the nature that we did, because I felt like although Manchester City had a lot of possession, we felt like we were limiting them to few chances, and I always felt like we were a threat on the counter-attack. But unfortunately, you know, mistakes get punished by a team of their quality, and you know, that's what happened to us today. So disappointing, but you know, we'll take the positives out of it. I think we had some really good moments in the game, both with and without the ball. So we'll look to build on them going into Leicester next week.
The scoreline perhaps doesn't reflect the good spells that Brighton had today, but essentially it's two relatively big defeats on the bounce. Is this a group of players where you perhaps now need to pick them up, or is that positive energy already there?
No, I think I'd like them to believe in themselves a little bit more. I certainly believe in them as a group. I think, you know, in our last WSL game, you look and we go away from home and score 7 goals, which is an incredible achievement. And I'm really confident that we are a real threat going forward. I think as well we can be solid defensively, as we showed for large periods of the game today. It's just about us bringing all those things together and trying to find a complete performance, and that's what we'll keep working towards. It is a process, so we're really early on in the journey, and you know, you have to give a lot of credit to Man City today. They were excellent and ruthless in the spells. Really pleased that we had another WSL debut in Grace McEwen today, which I think is something, an experience that she'll never forget. You know, and what an opponent to come up against it in Bunny Shaw. So you know, she'll remember that forever, and it's a great experience in her journey.
To be 4-0 down, but to then go and score in the dying moments, does that show the character of this side, that even when the chips are down, they're not completely out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would never question the attitude and the desire and the character of this group of players. You know, from the moment that I walked into the role, they've shown that in abundance on and off the pitch. You know, they're a fantastic group to work with, and you know, we'll have to reflect, review, learn from this game, and then build into a big game against Leicester.
Thanks for speaking to us.
Thanks, Jo. Cheers.
Good to get the thoughts there of Mikey Harris. Before we go off air, let's get a little title prediction. Come on.
Oh, come on. Sarah, don't do this to us.
We're going to do it. Come on. Gilly Flaherty sat on the bench in commentary. I'm not going to have it from the two of you.
Well, I think Manchester City have continued their good form in the WSL, applying pressure on Chelsea. But I think Chelsea arguably have the better run-in and are probably, it's their title to lose.
I think I have to agree with you, to be honest, in terms of the running. Anyone can take points off anyone in this league, but I feel like the way Chelsea are, and, you know, they've done it, they've been there before. They got United in the latter stages, but for me, I think they're the team to beat.
2 for Chelsea. Anita, Fern, thank you so much for your company this afternoon. And remember, there's a treat in store next weekend. City against United, Manchester derby. See you then.
And Hem could be in here. Hem for Manchester City. Brilliantly squeezed through. Here come Manchester City once again. Fowler's there. Fowler scores 2-0. We'll send it in and the header is in. It's 4. And she does have her goal. Oh, brilliant. Brighton do get a goal. And Manchester City are back on track this season.
Barriers breaking, boundaries taken, accelerating.
6 Nations domination.
Every tackle reverberating, every try breathtaking.
Power, power, power.
Feel every moment of the Women's 6 Nations, every minute live. Starts next Saturday at 2:15 on BBC Two and iPlayer.
Hi everyone, Vernon here, and this one is for everyone.
Later Than Build, now on BBC Two. Time for a little March Madness. Don't
و12 وانت بتحقق نتائج، رحت اخترت بيب جوارديولا فبدأ مشروع السيتي. اصلا السيتي في المشروع بتاع ابو ظبي كان المالك القديم مشاكل، الفرقه لا تحقق شيء، فرقه منتصف جدول، فرقه لا تنافس على اي شيء. خدتها مجموعه ابو ظبي، لو شمروا كده وبيقولوا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وهم بيقولوا بسم الله يحققوا انجاز. لان السيتي يعني السيتي القديم طبعا مع احترامنا ما كانش الفرقه الواو، يعني مش زي السيتي دلوقتي. فانت اي حاجه هتعملها هناك الناس ده والله اختراع النار، الناس هناك هتعجب بيك في استاد الاتحاد. وتجديد استاد، جمهور ابتدى يحضر. نفس تجربه تقريبا اولاس مع ليون لما كان استاد فاضي، فرقه لا تحقق اي شيء، فرقه متوسطه جدول، اتحط مشروع، ابتدى ويزدم اوف كراود، ابتدت التعاقدات مع اللعيبه، بيع لعيبه، شراء لعيبه، فوز متتالي بالدوري الفرنسي لمده 8 سنين متتاليه، ابتدى الجمهور يكتر ويقعد يحضر في الاستاد وكده. ده طبيعه المبيعات او كره القدم. نفس الفكره كانت لمشروع السيتي. الكليرك خدت فريق بطل للعالم، بطل لاوروبا، بطل للسوبر الاوروبي، بطل للعالم، متوج في ابو ظبي في بطوله شهدتها بام عيني. كنا على قمه العالم يا شباب، كنا على قمه العالم، وحدث ما حدث، والحرب جت وبراموفيتش مشي وجت المجموعه الامريكيه. ان تبدا من حيث انتهيت، مش انك تبتدي من الصفر، تبتدي كانك انت برايتون، تبتدي كانك انت كريستال بالاس، تبتدي كانك انت فولهام. للاسف الاداره جت بطموح محدود، العقليه جت ليميتد اصلا. فبدل ما تبتدي بصفقات، يعني ايه الاسهل ليك وانت جاي على نادي بطل عالم من موسم؟ انك تجيب الصفقات السوبر وقتها، ولا ان انا احل واجدد واجيب كله شباب ما اجيبش اي حد سوبر؟ انت في وقتها لو قلت عايز هالاند كنت تجيب هالاند، لو عايز امبابي تجيب امبابي. طبعا مش بالاسماء دي، يعني بتكلم على كنايه عن النجوم اللي انت عايز تروح تجيبها. بدل ما دلوقتي حد يقول لك اصل ده بابيه المشروع، لا والله ده انا هروح ارسنال، لا والله ده انا بختار ليفربول، لا والله ده انا مش عارف ايه. تخيل انت حتى الان اللعيبه لحد الميركاتو اللي فات اللعيبه اختارت تشيلسي، بس انت عندك فرق توقيت غلط، عندك مشكله كاداره، انك بدايه الخطا وبدايه البيز وبدايه القاعده الخطا انك ابتديت غلط. ما ابتديتش من حيث انتهينا، لا ده انت ابتديت فروم سكراتش. قلت والله يا جماعه تعالوا نهد المعبد كله ونبتدي من اول وجديد. فجيت لي بطموح محدود. فبقى عندي دلوقتي قضيتين، قضية الإدارة وقضية الماركت وطلباته وعقلياته وازاي تنجح وفكرة المشروع والبرنامج. وعندك حاجة كبيرة بقى فوقهم اسمها عقلية جمهور تشيلسي اللي عهد 20 سنة متطلب بيفوز بالبطولة عايز يكسب. فانت عندك دلوقتي 3 رؤى مختلفة، 3 بروسبكتيفز، الماركت وطلباته وفكرة المشروع والصبر عليه، الليميتيشن اللي عند العقلية بتاعت الإدارة بتاعتنا وإنها طموحهم تحت الأرض، فرحانين بنقطة من التعادل مع برينتفورد وبيدافعوا عن هذا المدرب زي ما راحوا جابوا جيرهام بوتر، زي ما سابوا نايجلزمان وسابوا انريكي، عشان هم مش عايزين وجع دماغ. احنا مش عايزين وجع دماغ. انا لسه هخش لي مع مدرب يقرع عليا في مؤتمر، ومدرب هيقول لي مش عارف ده انا عايز ايه، لا ده اللعيب بتاعك، طب اهو مرمي دكه عشان انا عايز اللعيب الفلاني. احنا مش عايزين وجع دماغ. وانا يعني عشان ادي نفسي امل وعشان ما اقولش احنا في وقت ما زي الكرونكي قديما او الجليزرز، هقول ان الاداره لا تعلم، وان هذا الفكر الرجعي ابو فرق توقيت هو فكر الناس اللي بتعين بول والستانلي ولورانس ستيوارت. هم اللي مش عايزين وجع دماغ، هم اللي مش عايزين جرجر كتير، هم اللي مش عايزين مدرب يقول لا او وحاضر ونعم ويتدخل في كل شيء. هم عايزين حد يقودوه هم. وهنأى بنفسي ان انا ابعد الاداره عن هذه الشبهه، لان انا كوسيم مش عايز اعتقد ان تود بويل واقبالي هم اللي بيفكروا كده، والا هتبقى مصيبتنا مصيبه. هبص على انهم عايزين يعملوا فكر، وهبص على عمليه البيع اللي اتعملت، وهبص على استخدامات الشباب ونظام الاعارات وتعيين الاعارات. هبص على حاجات انا عايز اديكوا بيها حجه. هو الاثنين اللي عينوا بوتر وبوتتشيني هم اللي عندهم المشكله. خليني امشي في الاستنتاج والطرح ده، لان الطرح الثاني مصيبه. الطرح الثاني مصيبه. الطرح الثاني يعني احنا ممكن نقعد زي ارسنال كده 15 17 سنه. من 3 سنين انا كنت بطل العالم. فانا دلوقتي ال3 رؤى المختلفه اللي عندي تدخلك على طول في مرحله شك. كان دايما يعني كان جوران إريكسون مدرب المنتخب الانجليزي السابق ومدرب لاتسيو في التسعينات، كان بيتكلم ان انا بعامل الاداره ان انا عايز اطلب، يكلم رئيس النادي يقول له اديني كريستيان فيري، عايز اشتري كريستيان فيري من اتلتيكو مدريد. طب ده بيكلف بالليره الايطالي وقتها 50 مليون مثلا، يقول له اشتريه. يقول لك الراجل ساعتها راح عشان ما يضيعش وقت وعشان انا عايزه في الفرقه، اشترى ب50 ونجح انه يكسب بيه بطولات إريكسون وبتاع، واتباع بعد كده للانتر اعتقد ب90 او ب100 مليون ليره ايطالي. فالراجل كان بيتكلم على موضوع فرق التوقيت، وان ازاي الملاك بيسمعوا للمدرب لفكره يلا هنغير. لان مهما كان مثلا لو هنتكلم في المشروع بيب جوارديولا حواليه من ناس ومديرين رياضيين والحلومه دي كلها، احنا بنشوف بيب قاعد في اخر كل صيف او اخر كل موسم مع الشيخ منصور في ابو ظبي بيتفقوا هم عايزين ايه. قعد تتنامى على طول لسمعك سيد ابراموفيتش ادفع ولا تتكلم. فاهم الفكره؟ انا عندي وسيط حاليا عامل لي الازمه بتاعت فرق التوقيت دي، وسيط في التعيينات عامل لي الازمه بتاعت فرق التوقيت دي، وانا متاكد ان بول والستانلي ولورنس ستيوارت ليهم علاقه حلوه جدا بفابريزيو رومانو واورنستن ومات لو، والاخبار بتطلع من ناحيتهم بس. ولما يحبوا ياكدوا على صفقه او ياكدوا على لاعب بعينه او ان المدرب مكمل او ماشي او يتسربوا خبر ان بندور على مدرب بديل لبوتر، بتطلع بره الاثنين دول، بتطلع من خلالهم يعني. طب هل يعقل ان انا يبقى عندي فرق توقيت، ان انا تبقى عندي ضحالة الرؤية، ان انا يبقى البروسبكتيف او النظر الى تشيلسي انظر اليه بعين الابيض والازرق كاني برايتون، او الابيض والاحمر كاني موناكو؟ هل يعقل لو ده على الاستنتاج بتاعي، لو انا نحيت الادارة واقتناعها بكلام الطاقم الاداري، هنقول ادارتنا ادارة محترمة وادى العيش لخبازه وبتتكلم بشكل ليبرالي كده وماشيه التسلسل الهرمي اللي مليان مساوئ، بس بيسمعوا للناس. هل يعقل ان انا اخلي الفيجن بتاعتي لنادي انا شايف اللوجو بتاعه ازرق فابيض عليه اسد وهم شايفينه عليه سيجلز ولا موناكو؟ انت متخيل عايزين المشاهد فرق الرؤيه؟ يعني هل انا مصير كله متاخد عن طريق المدربين الرياضيين؟ هل ريسكاتي كلها ان انا مشكلتي ان اشيل المدرب او اجيب لاعب غالي؟ كان دايما يقول لك مالك كان اسمها ايه، اير اسيا بتاعه الطيران، لما بعد كده اشترى كان فيرونتينا اعتقد ولا كان نادي ايه في ايطاليا، كان بيتكلم بيقول لك اداره شركه الطيران اسهل بكتير من اداره نادي في انجلترا. كان لا اشترى نادي في انجلترا، ميدلسبرا باين ولا مش فاكر بصراحه المعلومه. لان بيقول لك في الشركه الموضوع عندي كنترولد، ان انا عارف بشتري ايه وبكسب ايه وبخسر ايه، لكن بيقول لك انا بعمل كل التفاصيل وانا بشتري النادي، وفي الاخر بيقرر مدرب و11 لاعب مصير كل اللي انا عملته. يا في الاخر الجمهور يقلب عليا ويقول لك انت فاشل ومشروعك فاشل، لازم تمشي، لازم تجيب لي المهاجم الفلاني، لازم تجيب لعيب الوسط الفلاني، لازم تمشي المدرب، لازم تجيب المدرب الفلاني. فبيقول لك انا في الاخر كل الكنترول اللي انا كنت بعمله وبحاول اعمله بيضيعوا لي 11 واحد في الملعب، يا اما ينجحوا لي 11 واحد في الملعب. ده بالظبط حل تشيلسي حاليا. ولذلك تاني برجع من كلام سايمون كوبر ده على مالك هذا النادي، واستنتاجي الشخصي على اني، ودايما هفرض حسن النيه ليهم، ان اقبالي وتود بويلي عندهم النيه الجيده لصنع شيء لتشيلسي، ولكن الطقم اللي تحتهم هو اللي فيه الشر، هو اللي فيه الرؤيه الخاطئه لتشيلسي. هفرض دي ودي وهقول لك يا عم ما هو فعلا انا ستيل عندي مشاكل في 11 لاعب وعندي مشاكل في مدرب. ولذلك ديفيد اورنستون يعني ان لاين مع الخبر بتاع ان ماوريسيو بوتشينيو مكمل، طلع بخبر ان سيكون صيف مزدحم جدا. 2 عقلياتهم بتلعب مونوبولي، احنا هنبيع ونشتري اكتر من تحقيق الانجاز. هل تشيلسي محتاج لعيبه بالشكل اللي هو يخليك تقول ان ده صيف مزدحم؟ انا بقسم بالله لا، انا اقسم لك بالله لا. وعشان ما تبيعش الوهم للجمهور مش هيكون مزدحم. انت عندك مشاكل في اللعب النظيف، مش هتعرف تشتري زي ما انت فاكر. انت صيفك المزدحم عباره انك تبيع